Welcome to my SOL review video on percent proportion, tip tax, and discount. So a percent is a special ratio in which the denominator is 100. A percent proportion compares part of a quantity to the whole quantity, also called the base, using a percent. So you've always heard that percent is out of 100. So the percent proportion is as follows: part over whole equals percent over 100. And just like we did in the last review day, we can use a proportion. We used a proportion and we can use cross products to solve it. So let's look at example 1. There are 33 people at a meeting, underline. 40 people, underline, have been asked to attend. What percent of those asked attended the meeting? So we're going to set up part over whole equals percent over 100. The question is asking me for what percent. So I don't know the percent, so I'm going to put X over 100. So now I need to decide 33 people were at the meeting, 40 people were asked to attend. So it's 33 people at the meeting. Is that part or whole? That's part because there were 40 people that were asked to attend. So that would be the whole. That would be everybody that was asked. Okay, so now we're going to use cross products. So circle the number diagonal to the X. So 40 times X is 40X. 33 times 100 is 3,300. Now we need to get the X by itself, so there's a 40 in front. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 40. 40 divided by 40 is a 1 in disguise. So cancel out the 40s and write X. And 3,300 divided by 40 is 82.5. And since the question said what percent, I need to put a percent sign. If it asks for what percent and I don't put the percent sign, it is wrong. So 82.5%. And that is a reasonable answer because 30 out of 40 would be 3/4, and that'd be about 75%. So I know it's got to be more than 75%. So it's 82.5% is reasonable. Okay, let's look at example number 2. Only 13 students were absent from school. This was 4% of the enrollment. So 13 students was 4% of the enrollment. What is the school's enrollment? So we're going to do part over whole equals percent over 100. 4% is going to go over 100. And I need to decide if this 13 is part or whole. Well, it gives it away right here. It says 13 students were absent from school. This was 4%. So this is 4%, so that's the part. And then the school's enrollment would be all of the students in the school. So now, circle the number diagonal to the X. So X times 4 is 4X equals the cross products at the other side. So 13 times 100 is 1,300. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is a 1 in disguise. So X will equal 1,300 divided by 4, which is 325. And my label is students. Okay, now we're going to talk about tip, tax, and discount and what those mean and how to calculate it. So we're still going to use the part over whole equals percent over 100. And I'm also going to show you another way that you could use to solve it which is the more practical way if you were in a restaurant. So, tip is the amount of money given to someone for a service. The tip is added to the cost to find the total. Now, sometimes you're just finding the tip, but sometimes you're finding the total. And if you were, you would have to add the tip to the cost to get the total. Now, tax, the amount of money paid to the government. But it works the same way as tip. So tax is also added to the cost to find the total. So sometimes we find the tax, and sometimes we need to find the total with the tax, so we would calculate the tax and add it to get the total. Discount is the amount of money subtracted from the cost. So discount makes your bill go down. So once again, we would calculate the discount and then subtract it if we were finding the total. Now here's some words that mean to calculate the total with the discount. So underline discount and underline sale price and discounted price. If you see those two phrases or words, you would subtract the discount to get the total cost. Now, this is important when calculating the tip, tax, discount, or total costs. Whenever you're finding any of those, you always need to find the part first. So you need to know the tip, tax, or discount. Whenever you're finding tip, tax, discount, or even total. Even when you're finding the total, you still have to find the tip, tax, and discount first. Okay, so let's look at our first example of tip, tax, or discount. Evelyn went to dinner at Applebee's and her bill came to $58.50. If she wants to leave an 18% tip, how much will she need to leave for a tip? Now, I'm going to show you first the practical way to do it if you were in a restaurant, and then I'm going to show you the proportion way as well. Now, the proportion way works for every single one of these problems. This shortcut will not work for the very last problem, so you will still need to know both methods. So here's the practical way if you were in the restaurant. If it costs $58.50 and you're leaving an 18% tip, then you can multiply the cost times the tip is a decimal. So move it to the left. So this would be 0.18. So you could do $58.50 times 0.18. And that will give you $10.53. Now, you can use that method instead of a proportion whenever you're finding the tip, tax, or discount, or even when you're finding the total. You could still use that method, and then you would have to add or subtract at the end. Now, let me show you the proportion method for this one. It says, how much money will she need to leave for a tip? So I'm just calculating the tip. I know that the bill is $58.50, and I know that the tip is 18%. So we got to find the tip. So part over whole. So this is $58.50 is the cost. And your percent over 100. So 100 times x is 100x. And $58.50 times 18 is 1,053. So please make sure you are writing down both methods here. The opposite of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide both sides by 100. 100 divided by 100 is a 1 in disguise, and 1053 divided by 100 is 1053. Now, in this problem, I am not going to add 1053 as my final answer because it said how much will she leave for a tip. So I just needed to find the part, and I did not need to add or subtract here. Okay, let's look at number 4. Dustin bought a guitar that originally cost $155. If the tax rate is 8%, how much did he pay for the guitar? So I want to know how much he paid for the guitar, and I know the tax rate is 8%, so I need to find the tax first. So I'm still going to do part, which is x, because I got to find the tax, over whole, which is the cost of the guitar. and we're going to put percent over 100. Now, could I have multiplied this by the decimal 0.08 and got the tax? Yes, and then I would have to add the tax to get how much he paid. But please write down the proportion method. So 100 times x is 100x. 155 times 8 is 1,240. The opposite of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide both sides by 100. 100 divided by 100 is a 1 in disguise, and 1,240 divided by 100 is $12.40. But that is not my answer. That's just the tax. So now we have to know how much he paid for the guitar. So now I have an extra step. So 155 plus $12.40. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. Bring the decimal straight down. 5 plus 2 is 7. 5 plus 1 is 6. And 1 plus nothing is 1. So $167.40 is how much he would pay for the guitar. Okay, let's look at number 5. Anna wants to buy a new TV at Best Buy for $495. On Black Friday, the TV will be on sale for 20% off. What will the discounted price be? Okay, so in order to find the discounted price, I need to find the discount first. And then I'm going to have to subtract the discount to get the discounted price of the TV. So since I want to know the discount first, I'm going to be looking for the part. So part over whole, which is the cost of the TV, equals percent, which is 20 over 100. Now, could I find the discount by taking this times 0.20? Most certainly. And then I would have to still subtract the discount to get the discounted price. But go ahead and write this proportion down. 100 times x is 100x. And 495 times 20 is 9,900. The opposite of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide by 100. The 100 divided by 100 is going to cancel, and 9,900 divided by 100 is $99. Okay, but that's not my final answer. That's just my discount. So now I got to find the discounted price by taking the cost minus the discount. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 9, I can't do that, so borrow from the 9, make it an 8. And make this 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. 8 minus 9, I can't do that, so I borrow from the 4, make it a 3. And I make this 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. And 3 minus nothing is 3. So the discounted price is $396. Okay, for all the previous examples, I mentioned the practical way that you would do in the restaurant or in a store. You would multiply the cost by the decimal. Okay? But in number 6, it's not going to work. So we would have to know the proportion method. So if Jesse paid $1.52 in tax, the tax rate was 8%. What was the cost of the item before the tax? So notice, unlike all the other problems, here I gave you the part. I gave you the tax in this one. So I gave you $1.52. And I gave you the percent, so percent always goes over 100. That means we're looking for the whole. We want to know the cost of the item before the tax. So now we're going to use our cross products. 8 times x is 8x. $1.52 times 100 is 152. The opposite of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide both sides by 8. 8 divided by 8 is a 1 in disguise, and 152 divided by 8 is $19. So the cost of the item before the tax is $19. Okay, that concludes our SOL review video on percent, proportion, tip, tax, and discount. I hope you have a great day.